My name is Carmen Mejia, and there are 3 skills that I find necessary in everything that you engage with, which are critical thinking, writing, and teamwork. I'll be discussing how I utilize these skills in the present. For example, I have this class, Communications at IVC. I was asked to analyze a video with the author Bell Hooks and talking about the sense of critical thinking and agency. In this assignment, I was asked questions alongside it that forced me to use critical thinking with the video. Even though these questions were asked, it wasn't the only thing that I noticed from the video, because once you turn on that switch, you notice a bunch of things. One thing I noticed was how a lot of the students that she mentioned in the video are affected by their environments, and that was just something that I picked up due to my own sense of critical thinking. I'm also often having to use writing to put my own complex thoughts into words that other people can understand. And it even helps me better understand, because sometimes I can't think of how to word them, then do I really understand my own thoughts? And alongside with all this critical thinking and writing, I'm asked to also engage with my peers. And I engage with them for feedback, of course, but also to benefit from something in an intellectual conversation. For example, one of my introduction assignments was to pick a song, something very simple, but to analyze it and also analyze that of my peers. And with this analyzation and feedback that was given, I was able to have some intellectual conversations with some of my peers that opened my eyes to different horizons and different ways of thinking of a song, which I never would have thought on my own. Another example of these kind of skills being used was in my writing class. And though writing is a big part of it, that wasn't the only thing I needed to succeed in that class. I needed critical thinking for my essays in order to make the research that I found not just be knowledge, but have meaning to it and have my own voice in it, and not just be something that are other people's words rewrote by me. And so I had to use critical thinking often to turn knowledge into meaning. And I also had to write what I meant a lot, because like I said, the writing is majority about the actual writing, but not just only that. And in order to write so much helps me in other opportunities in my life, because everything asks you to write, even if it's just a short little sentence. And having a class that helps you engage with that constantly every single day helps you in your life in general, because that's always going to be required from you in your life. And teamwork is another thing that was even used in writing. Even though that's a solo task, it's always better to look at a paper with 2 minds and not just one. You can help other people see the mistakes they missed, and they can help you see the mistakes that you missed. In conclusion, critical thinking, writing, and teamwork are essential in everything you do. Critical thinking is important, and it is something that you need for everything, because you can't just re-say someone else's words. You have to add your own spin, and everything requires a level of intellectual thinking. To live is to write. It is something that will always be required, even if it's just 2 sentences. It's in everything we do. Teamwork is so important. Though you can do something alone, it's always better to have someone and multiple minds that fill the gaps that other minds just missed. You can become a collective, which is always better than just a single mind. All these skills are necessary in order for a person to grow in their lives. And I have much experience in these skills due to the classes I'm currently taking and the ones I have in the past. I think it's very important that a person has all these skills in order to succeed in life.